And this is Mission Reloaded Gaming. I'm Jack, and today we're playing a little bit of double action Boogaloo with Mogspawn.
Hey viewers, it's Mogspawn coming at you this week with a brand new hot game, Double Action Boogaloo. And let me tell you, this one is so much better than the games I have personally been playing lately. Let me begin with saying that the gunplay mechanics are amazing. They feel a little unbalanced, but that's kind of okay. As well as there's unique but very familiar maps and intuitive gameplay, all because it relies on the old Half-Life 2 engine. Jack also has some opinion of it as well. Tell me, Jack, how did you feel about the game?
It felt like I was playing a very classic shoot-'em-up game. It had very intuitive gameplay, and the maps felt like I knew them almost. Like I had all the good ideas where they were all going to be, where everything was going to be. It was like someone took Counter-Strike and just rehashed it yet again and turned it into this wonderful thing that added like the Matrix and Unreal Tournament. How was the multiplayer experience in your mind?
Multiplayer experience was alright. The roles relied heavily on, or should I say, the server itself relies heavily on Valve's server systems. This means that every game that you connect into could potentially be VAC secured if the server owner turned that on. Seeing the fact that this is really just another Source Engine mod, there's nothing new here, but sometimes having that old, it makes me as a gamer feel good about those VAC bans kicking out people who could potentially hack in this game. And yourself, did you find any kind of difficulty through the multiplayer? Or at least as far as connecting and, getting into it?
No, it was... I installed the game and just clicked on it, and boom, there's a list of servers and a list of people who are badass this week.
Nice. I like that too. The servers were very easy to find. Once again, this is all part of VAC's system. All we had to do was hit search on the little load screen and every server was available. But there is a little caveat to this, a little side step. There's very few servers that are actually active. I'd probably say maybe under 50, over 100. And out of those, only 3 to 5 had people doing things on them. So the community is very small, and this is a good place if you're looking for a new ground to get into a game that's kind of fresh and have a community that's equally fresh.
And it sounds like even if you log on, there's like 2 people on one, it won't be a very fun game. Their bots are really good, and they seem to just kind of curve with your experience on the thing. They learn from you, it seems like.
What do you mean by curve? Like they become...
Like when we first got on, we're like, man, these bots are stupid. And they're shooting in every which way and whatnot. And by the end of it, we had bro whatever kicking our butts halfway up and down some of those skyscrapers.
Yeah, that's something I do like about the game. Every other character that was auto-generated by the bot had the word bro in their name.
Angelina Broly.
Brolin Powell.
What was that? Brosaurus Rex? Yeah.
Yes, Brosaurus Rex. He was the man. Well, did you find the game balanced?
No, but it didn't really matter. There was still some strategy, but it was still really, it was still very rock paper shotgun-ish. But it had that feeling of like being kind of silly and cartoony with still the serious facade on top. And you died a lot, and you just curse a little bit, and you're right back into the game, sometimes literally right behind them. And it was... You can play the same way, or you can change it up, you can go sit somewhere else, and I loved it.
No, I can understand that. I had the same mixed opinion that you do. I enjoyed the fact that there was so many guns to play with, but I did feel that some of the guns were a little overpowered in relation to others. However, I ran across players who could easily run directly to my face and start punching on me, and that punch was just as good as a gun. So there's not too many games.
That guy was, man.
He was crazy, wasn't he?
Yes.
But all in all, I feel as though all of the strategy in the game there is some, but all of it is revolving around the slide mechanic, or the John Woo mechanic of jumping directly at your opponent, or sliding backwards, or sliding forwards. Like, as you informed me while we were playing, when you slid forwards, you could actually go into that cinema mode that made your shots fire harder. So it kind of put a unique precedent on like what to do, and how to do it in such a fast-paced environment.
Yeah, you could jump like sideways and start shooting, but when you hit the ground, you could actually, like you said, as you're sliding, make your shots count even better. And the game gives you more points per hit for doing things in a cool fashion.
Yes, I agree completely. I'd also like to make another side caveat. This is a points game, not a kill so many people that you can. All of the shots that I took added up if I were able to hit the target, and if I hit them in a stunt fashion, it then added a multiplier to it. So this, in essence, made the game more exciting because I wasn't only trying to focus on killing people, and like I would feel okay with turning and switching to kill a new opponent if this guy ran off. I don't feel like I lost anything because, hey, I got new points here and a potential for a new kill.
Yes, I did like the fact, because I do like to snipe a little bit, and if I saw someone running across and I hit him 1 or 2 times, just tap, 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 and I still got points for it, even though he gets smeared when he goes into a hallway somewhere else. It's not based, like I said, on kills or frags. It's just kind of, you get a point multiplier. I really like that because it still makes you want to shoot at everybody you see.
What did you find good about the game, Jack?
Well, first off, it's free to play, and the Matrix feel was extremely natural. It really brought out the nostalgia, and the kill shot images were hilarious. It had us on the floor.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely. Getting back into a new game using the Source engine gave me a nostalgia fever pitch. I felt like I was playing TF2 or Counter-Strike Go for the first time, but it wasn't any of these games. It was Double Action Boogaloo, which should be, and I hope it will be, a new title that will scale higher and higher through time as, we progress through making new games. And I hope some of these features are taken and utilized in newer games that we play, such as the fact that the slide mechanic is so intuitive and easy to pick up. The instructions were right there for you, and if you wanted to turn off the instructions, they were just as easy to remove everything. So to me, it's about communicating to the gamer, because a gamer that spends time learning how to play the game not only becomes a good gamer, but it becomes a good opponent whenever I have to go against them. So I don't want to get into a game I'm the only one that read this one cheat and then I know how to do it. I'd rather everybody else just have an openly fluid method of trying to discover the map on their own with the tools at hand, be it as they may, balanced or not.
And, if you get tired of a couple levels, you can go make a few.
Oh, that was another great thing. It has a built-in map editor, which, to be fair, it's just the Hammer editor, which is the Half-Life 2 map editor. But they give you the templates for what they're looking for. And as we saw through tonight's maps, one in particular you noticed that you really enjoyed. I forgot which one that had a label. It was like
the subway map. The subway map. It was perfect. It had movie posters of Die Hard and True Lies and Red and just Mission Impossible, and they're high-res images too, so when you walk by them you have to do a double take on them, oh wait, and then you usually get smeared, but you enjoyed those are there. And
sad to say, and I don't mean to talk business on anybody out there, if you have an old computer, don't feel like you're left out. This game is intended to run on a 10-year-old computer. So dust off whatever extra you have in the corner, throw on Steam, and get into some Double Action Boogaloo.
Yeah, get your friends on it. So, now that we talked about what was good, what was bad?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that the custom maps feel kind of incomplete. Although these tools have been out for decades, and users know how to build them, at least the people who want to get into map making. Some of the custom maps of which we tried were very, the jump mechanics and the slide mechanics wouldn't work right. Going through doors wouldn't be right. So there is that problem. But this is a problem with Half-Life 2 maps in general, because I've had to deal with it. I'm sure you've been on Gary's mod servers where the map just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And the door doesn't open right, or you get you get caught doing the rubber
Lego
band.
Person playing with Duplo Legos, just kind of awkward all the time.
You're an awkward Duplo. Also,
Thank you.
the game wasn't optimized for SLI. And because of that, I had to specifically go in my settings and ensure that when that game ran, it didn't have that. So for those guys who are like doing super systems, you're gonna have it's a Half-Life game. I'm sure there are programs out there to get it to work right, but for me, it was just easier to turn it off and let the 2 gig card run on its own. It worked perfectly with it, and I was able to put all the settings on high. So that's what you're looking at for this old game not being optimized. You said something to me earlier about the model texture too. What was that, Jack?
Yeah, basically the models just need to be a little retexturing the faces and the clothing a little bit. Maybe make them a little more defined so it's easier to see them against the background. But other than that, nothing really a big problem with it. I'm assuming that more people will be making new models for beyond the basic 3 that they have currently.
Especially if this game goes workshop, which I'm kind of hoping the mod creators put a back end on it, because workshop allows people to collaborate on a new map level, and there might be new arena style,
Would be so
arena
cool.
style gaming out of this. I could see it just as well. But yeah, there really wasn't anything too bad with this game. For a 10-year-old engine and a new game, it caught my attention and held on, and I still want to play to this, like right now I want to play.
I know, we just got done playing a bunch, and we're like, man, I want to, like, it's late, I want to play more. Yeah, I haven't had a game that just snared me this much in a long time.
I know exactly what you mean.
So, what do you think the verdict is?
I'm going to give this game a game of the month. It was not only something that held my interest, but I'm probably going to come back to it more times than not. It's not just a game I want to one-up and be on my way. And that's really strange because I don't have many of those games in my library, although I have hundreds of games. I don't have those games that I want to play. Like, hey, this sounds like fun, or hey, I want to get into this, you know? So, given all that we've talked about earlier this evening, I have to give it a game of the month based on that and that alone. Anytime you capture my attention for more than 2 hours, an hour, you have me at hello.
It's one of those games you can sit down and immediately get into with like 30 seconds. You like turning your computer on to end the game. It's like a total minute, and you're doing it. So if you only have 20 minutes, after work or whatnot, you have your 20 minutes, and it's all fueled fun. And there's none of this logging in, remembering your passwords, updating, falling on a map, getting to the fun, and by the time you get to the fun's ended or you have to go.
I feel you exactly. Well, thanks, Jack, for checking out this game with me.
No, thank you for telling me about it, man.
And we'll see all you gamers next time. Oh, I made a bad mistake!